This special edition of Backyard Wrenchheads TV is brought to you by Discount Tire, America's largest independent tire dealer since 1960. And by Eaton Detroit Spring, made in the USA in Detroit. And by MSD Ignition, the fire to drive. With the Detroit Autorama boasting almost 800 cars on display, it's safe to say there's just about one of everything. They're all here. Full customs, classic restorations, muscle cars, hot rods, hand-built one-of-a-kinds, rat rods, and traditional rods. And if that's not enough, this annual event also showcases motorcycles, race cars, model cars, and more. Of course, this show isn't just about flashy chrome and glittering paint. It's also about the people who make these cars show-worthy. Each year, the Autorama introduces the public to some of the best car building talent in the country. Let's find out what motivates these builders and see just how passionate they are about this hobby.
Okay, well, I've always been a backyard wrench head.
I'm definitely a wrench head. My family's always been in cars.
Me and my dad are backyard wrench heads. He's been around cars his whole life, and naturally, I've been around them since I was ever born.
Being a young guy, trying to get my name out there, being a young builder, just trying to inspire other young builders and people that have passion for cars to get here and try.
This is a 1967 Dodge A100. It's home built. Me and my father built it in our garage. We race it a lot. We try to hit up all the major tracks here in Michigan. Just something me and my dad do to enjoy ourselves on the weekends. I like to drive it to work. It gets driven. It's not a trailer queen. Pretty much everyone in my family has cars, hot rods, classic cars, race cars. So family get-togethers are at the drag strips, that's for sure.
This is a 1965 American Dodge Coronet. 101 were built. You could go to your local dealer and order one for just over $4,000. No ownership was given with the car and no warranty. I purchased the car, just the shell without the motor, in 1972 from a gentleman in Toronto for $1,500. I raced it till 1977, sat in the garage until I started a restoration in 1994. And what we thought was 3-year restoration ended up being 13 years. We finished the car in 08. Our plans back then were to show it for 2 years after it was done, show it and race it a little bit here, just exhibition race.
Hi, my name's Jeff. I'm here today at the 2011 Detroit Autorama, representing Lansing Community College. Here today with our 1998 Chevrolet S10 pickup. We've done a 100% electric conversion on this truck. We removed the internal combustion engine and replaced it with a generic electric motor. We've got 24 6-volt batteries powering this thing for a total of 144 volts. We can get approximately 50 miles on one charge. At first glance, you can't really tell it's an electric vehicle until you take a closer look at all the batteries we have, and you go ahead and pop the hood, and first thing you notice is there is no engine. You see our controller board we've done here. The auto body and auto technology program both shared some of the responsibilities in building this thing here. The body department obviously took care of all the paint and shining it up for us and getting everything set for the show. We handled more of the automotive mechanical aspect of everything.
Bob Larrabee Jr. called me about 6 or 8 months ago and asked me if I would be the Builder of the Year at Detroit Autorama this year, and it was a great honor. We gathered 15 cars from St. Louis to West Virginia to Tennessee to Florida. They were all my cars at one time, but I had to sell one to build another and had to sell that one to build another one, and on it goes. In 1985, we were here for the first time coming to Detroit with a car that I built for myself, and we won the Riddler Award with it. I still build cars behind the house that we live in right now. I've had some customers say that they call us and they say, well, they don't want a car built by somebody in their backyard. And I said, well, You probably don't want us because I'm in my backyard. I walk to work every morning. We're in the middle of 15 acres, in the middle of a bunch of woods, in a garage. We don't sell a lot of stuff. We build cars is what we do. So one other thing that I'm very proud of is as it stands right now, I've won the Riddler, I've won America's Most Beautiful Roadster, won Street Machine of the Year and Street Rod of the Year, and I think I'm the only one that's ever done that as of this time.
It's a 33 Ford modified. It was a 33 Ford truck cab I chopped the top off of to make like a lake style modified. I'm running like a 47 Chevy front axle. It's got a 39 Dodge grill shell, 4-speed. It's got a 360 cubic inch small block motor and a Chevy 10-bolt rear end. We custom built the chassis.
This is a 1929 Ford Roadster. It was an old drag car back in 1955 to the early 60s. When I purchased the car, it had the original front frame. I took and built a 2x4 tube chassis. It's got coilovers, 4-bar rear, 9-inch Ford under it. I put a 383 small block in it.
We drive it everywhere. It's been to Iowa, Kentucky, Tennessee. We get in them and go. We're all over the place. My wife loves it more than I do. She'd rather go out in it. I work a lot, but in the evening times when I get home, she'd rather jump in that and go for a ride. I'd rather just lay on the couch.
Ever since I could remember, my dad always had a garage. He owned his own business, did drag racing, dirt track racing, built engines. I grew up in it, and just like you're born into stuff like this.
My dad got me started when I was real little, going to different events and stuff, and he had a little shop for a while. When he was building cars, I was handing him wrenches, handing him tools, chasing stuff for him.
You're a hot rodder, it's in your blood. In my own opinion, I think it's more of a real deal. It's, you know, not everybody can afford a $5,000 interior, but they can afford a $15 Mexican blanket. It's more of a family thing. The guys can relate to one another. It's not a competition. It's not a trophy thing. It's just, you know, you're doing what you like and what you love and what you was raised up in. And that's the best thing about building hot rods.
It's a 1956 Chevy Bel Air Gasser that we built in the last 5 months. Bought the car in September. It was a basket case, bought it in boxes and pieces. We decided to go ahead and do it with a gasser style, something different, and try to make it a low budget build by not doing all original restoration and original paint. We've had a lot of people coming up and commenting on the paint scheme. It's a flat metallics. We have a flat black metallic, and then it's called California Suede is the gold color that's on the back. My dad was against us cutting it up and making a straight axle car out of it because it is a Bel Air two-door hardtop, so we kept it in that motif of a gasser street version. It's been great to be able to do this project with my dad. It's something that you know, you look back and now we can say we accomplished something over the last 5 months. He didn't think it was going to be done before Woodward, and I told him we're going to get it down to Autorama this year. I'm Dave Goulda from Oxford. My dad's Al Goulda from Waterford, Michigan. We're both backyard wrench heads.
Wrenchhead.
I love building hot rods, especially backyard wrench heads. What he said.
This special edition of Backyard Wrenchheads TV was brought to you by Discount Tire, America's largest independent tire dealer since 1960. And by Eaton Detroit Spring, made in the USA in Detroit. And by MSD Ignition, the fire to drive.